In the media, Tourette's is most commonly associated with people uncontrollably swearing. My tics, as they're called, or what I call them, are completely different to this. Nobody knows, including me, why they happen or what they are. Many people have speculated, but nobody has actually come up with a solid, reason. But I would describe mine as my mind telling me to do something, and my body has no choice but to obey. It's kind of like when you have a sudden urge to sneeze or cough, and you've got no choice but to do it. It's a really hard thing to explain, really. I guess one of the only things that comes even close that I could compare it to is, like I said, trying to hold back a sneeze, but even that doesn't quite cover it. When I go out, there tend to be two different types of people regarding my Tourette's. People either stare at me whilst I do the tic, thinking it's the strangest thing they've ever seen, or they'll just glance away and quickly look away, pretending they didn't notice, which we all know that they did. I'm a pretty open person, so I would prefer it if they just asked me about it rather than remain ignorant, and later on in life, that if it does come up, then obviously they're more knowledgeable if they just ask me now. When I'm out in public or around people who are unaware, I do tend to suppress my tics because it can be very uncomfortable for people who don't know me, to hear them, and it's very uncomfortable for me to do them around them because I know how awkward it can make people feel. It can be pretty difficult when I'm up against people who truly don't understand, and I honestly don't really have much of a choice but to suppress them, because as I said, it's very difficult for everyone involved. Now this is where I come to feel safe. Hardly anyone comes here anymore, which is a hard thing to find in Manchester. There's just something about this place, it makes me feel content. Nobody looks at me here, nobody judges, nobody's around to hear me. Nobody makes me feel self-conscious. It's just a great place to get away from all the stress that causes my tics to become more aggressive. My tics can get very aggressive, and being here just makes me feel a lot more relaxed, and as a result my tics are actually a lot better, which is kind of ironic. Where I come somewhere because my tics are bad and they actually calm them down. At the end of the day, I've heard people regard them as a vicious cycle. When I get stressed, my tics get worse, and when I get stressed, my tics get worse, and when they get worse, I get more stressed, which is just as it sounds. It is a very vicious cycle. I can't stop it unless I break the cycle, which that's why I come here, because it's so relaxed and it's so comfortable, and it feels like time just doesn't touch it, and not many people do either, because people don't really come here, as I said. Now, the biggest thing I need to say about Tourette's is that it's not black and white. If you were to see somebody with Tourette's, I'm not saying people don't swear, I'm not saying that type of Tourette's doesn't exist, because it does. We've all seen it on Big Brother, and it's been the head of the media for some time. Well, it used to be anyway. But what I'm trying to say is it's not black and white. It's a huge grey area that everybody needs to, maybe finally understand. I'm not saying I'm special. I'm not saying I want people to understand me. I just want people to be a bit more knowledgeable about what they're saying, about things they don't entirely understand. I know it's difficult to see something strange and instantly judge, and hear the word Tourette's and immediately think of it as the same as what Pete was like, or maybe what one of their friends has, or and they swear. But what I'm trying to say is it's not that black and white. It has varying degrees of severity, and I'm blessed in the way that mine is not so bad at all. As you're hearing me now, obviously it's a lot better than it has been. I go through periods where it's very bad, and you can't group them into two categories. Having Tourette's or not having Tourette's, it's extremely difficult to do, because like I said, it's a massive grey area, and it cannot be simply arranged in two categories, and I just want people to know that next time you see somebody doing something you don't understand, don't be so quick to judge, because maybe you just don't know the full story.